I'm Mustard. Hi, I'm Mocha. Hi, I'm Croc. Hi, I'm Nutella.
This is Troop 33440, and this is our Silver Award for Letterboxing!
Hi, I'm Croc, and I'm with my troop 33440, and this is the history of letterboxing. Letterboxing was started in England 1854 by Victorian Girl Guides in Dartmoor. It wasn't popularized until 1905 when rubber stamps became the normal. It came to America in the early 1900s. They originally used bottles but switched over to boxes as an easier and cheaper way to keep. The originals were so hard to find, some took weeks to complete. Some materials you might need when completing your letterboxing is a stamp or eraser, or homemade stamp, a notebook, an ink pad and marker with your stamp, clues, and a plastic bag to keep your supplies in. Now that we learned the history of letterboxing, let's talk about how we can actually do it. Letterboxing is when you solve clues to determine the location of the letterbox. When you find the box, take their booklet out and put your stamp into it, and take their stamp and put it in your booklet. Make sure you put it back exactly where you found it so the next girls can have as much fun as you do.
Hi everyone, it's me, Girl Scout Mustard, and I'm here to teach you and tell you how to make stamps. So with stamps, they're really fun to make. You can buy them at the store if you want, but it's more fun to make them. You can use erasers. You can use little like foam stickers. They don't have to be stickers, they can be foam paper too, and you can just cut them out into whatever shape you want. For the foam, you can use either bottle caps or you can use binder clips. See, this one is an example. See, so you cut the foam into whatever shape you would like. For example, this candy. Then you glue it onto either the binder tab or the bottle cap, and then you can use it as a stamp. For ink, you can use markers and just like color on top of it, or you can use actual ink pads and stick them with the ink. Now, for the ones made out of erasers, you can take this cool little tool called a cuticle remover, and it's usually used to push back and cut your cuticles, but we don't want to use it for this right now. Instead, we would carve the eraser like this, and see, it came off that little strip. And then if you do that enough, then it will eventually make a little shape. You can either color on it with marker, or you can stamp it on your stamp and then put it onto the paper and it will make the shape. Just everybody make sure when you're making stamps, whether you're carving them or making them out of foam, whatever you do on this, when you stamp it, it will come reversed on the paper. So make sure if you're writing words or something, make sure you always write them backwards. Alright, for the stamps, you can use, for carving them, you can use any type of eraser. Like this is a pink eraser, just like pearl pink. You can use Pen and Gear, you can use Pentel, or you can just use like ones from like Walmart or the Dollar Tree even. Just any erasers are completely fine. Like as long as they are chunky enough where you can be able to carve them, then they're perfect. Now for the cuticle cutters, you definitely want to make sure that you're safe with them, because this part is sharp and metal, because like I said, it was used to cut your cuticles, which are these tough parts on your nail. So you want to make sure that you don't cut your fingers with them, because sometimes if you're trying really hard, you can actually slip and then it like goes straight into your finger and that can hurt, and that's not good. So we want to make sure you use this safely, you want to make sure that you always have it when you're cutting it. Don't just jab it, because then you could slip and hurt your thumb or your finger. Don't make sure that you have it at an angle so that it can curve up like that. Okay.
You can also use a binder clip and foam stickers to create your own stamp. It can be pre-shaped or you can create your own by cutting it. Then glue it to your paper clip and you can start stamping.
To record your letterboxing, you can use a simple piece of paper, a notebook, note cards, or a zine.
Zines are little paper booklets that are small and can be easily stored in Ziploc baggies and are perfect for letterboxing. The history of zines can be traced back to the early 20th century from science fiction writers who would self-publish small magazines to share opinions and build community. Okay, and this is how to make a zine. So you want to accordion fold it and make sure you press down to get all those little lines. Then you're going to fold it back to normal. See how it makes the creases? Then you're going to hamburger fold it in half and make sure at the seam right here where, see this is the open part? You want to do at the seam, you're going to cut it up to this line. Then you're going to hot dog fold it, okay, and you want to take it, you don't want to do this, you want to make sure that these two corners touch like this, so it makes like an X or a plus sign. And then you can just fold it in, and you got your front and your back, and all the insides, perfect for stamping. And you're going to stamp the front and the back. And always remember, if you want it to go on the thing, make sure that you have it backwards. You want to make sure you pat it down really nice and firm. And then lift it. Beautiful. Alright, now that you've created your zine and your stamp, you're ready to make your letterbox. First, you want to get a little Ziploc baggie. This one is labeled letterbox 2. Most letterboxes, as long as you have a group of them, will be numbered so that you can follow the clues for them. So any color, just Ziploc bags, make sure that it can close properly so that no water gets inside. You want to put your beautiful stamp that you made in, and your zine. Make sure they're nice good in there. And then you can put ink in with it, or you can put a marker, either way. Then you want to make sure you close it off nice and tight. And then make sure you write clues for it and go hide it somewhere. And then you're good to go. This is also how you can make your personal kit so you can find letterboxes. Bye!
Some things you might want in your letterboxing kit is your booklet to keep your stamps, a marker or ink pad, your stamps, your clue, and an optional compass. You should probably keep these with your troop leader.
Hey guys, look, I found the letterbox.
letterboxes outside when we're camping. So inside there's a thing to keep it safe. And then there's a notebook to put your stamp in, and then stamps and an ink pad to put their stamp in your book. So it looks like there's a dolphin and a crab. Make sure when you're resealing it, it's all the way closed. Make sure that you hear a snap sound. We're gonna put it back
Exactly the way it was.
Exactly the way it was, and we want to make sure that we close the big metal box tight too. That way, stuff like rain and snow won't cause it. Won't hurt it or mess with the box. Make sure to always put it exactly where you put it. Now we're going to learn how to make clues and hide our letterbox. For hiding our letterbox, first you want to look around your area and scope it out to see where you can hide it. If you want it to last for a longer time, then you want to make sure it's in a place where the environment isn't going to disturb it as much, and make sure that it is in your area that you are allowed to be in. Let's look around. Okay, now that we have our spot, it's time to get the clues ready to know where other people can find it at. Come in different forms and ways. For example, this from Letterboxing from Camp Butterworth. You see we have these box codes where it says what letters, how they go. We've got emojis where you have to find out what the emojis mean or stand for. And we've got backwards lettering and number codes. So for example, well, not necessarily for example, but for mine, I decided to do a little bit of a mix of all of them. You can do that, and that would be more of a challenge, but if you want to keep it the same just for convenience, or if it's easier, then that's okay too. So here we've got box number things where that tells you what box is the letter. So here is the answer. So if you look here, see how it's 2 dots with an L looking dot? If you look here, this one has 2 dots, so that means that it's an S, see? So that gives it this. And these are for the numbers. See how there's letters and then the numbers are under to show you what each number stands for. Here we have this alphabet. See where each letter stands for something else? So if we look here, O. Let's look at O. Okay, that actually means L. And that means that the L's mean O. And the P means K. So that says look. And we have our pictures, where it says look. I'm guessing that means down. And this means swing, since it looks like a swing. So now that we have our clues and our code, it's time to actually make our letterbox and hide it. Let's go. Okay, now that we have all our clues together, it's time to put our things in the letterbox so that we can put it where it needs to go. Now, for today, we are going to be using an ammo can as our letterbox, but just so that it will stay safe from the weather or animals. But if you are not available to have an ammo box, or if you don't need it to stay for a super long time, you can also use a container or a plastic bag. Just make sure you close it tightly, that way it won't get any rain damage. Okay, so first we're going to open it and put everything we need to go inside of it. First, you're going to need a stamp. This can be one you bought at the store or one you made yourself. So you put that in there. You only need one, but you can put two. Next, you need a marker or an ink pad. An ink pad, you just stamp it and put it on the paper. And a marker, you just color the stamp and you put it onto the paper or the zine, and it will do the same thing as ink pad. Next, you need your zine. That way, other people can stamp it, and you know that they visited your thing. And last but not least, you need a writing utensil. It can be a pen, a pencil, just anything. You put that in there just so that when other people stamp your zine, that they can write their name or their troop number. That way you know that it was them who put the stamp. You want to make sure you close it nice and tight. That way no rain can get inside and no animals can mess with it. Now let's go hide it. Alright, now we're at the location where we need to put our letterbox. We made sure that all our clues match to right exact here, or at least in this area. So now it's time to hide it so that other people can follow our clues and find it. If you need help looking for some letterboxes, there are two really cool apps you can go on with your parents' permission. They are called Letterboxing North America and Atlas Quest. Or you can go to your Girl Scout camp and see if they have any letterboxes available for you to find. You can also make some of your own with your troop and have a lot of fun with your troop, friends, and family.
Thank you for watching.
Now you know how to letterbox.
But don't forget to
Make sure to close it properly.
Make sure to put them in the exact same place you found it.
Make sure to return the kit to the Welcome Center.
and remember to have fun.
Bye!